You're going to have to do it. You're going to have to do the intro now. You're going to have to do it. Go on.
What are we wanting in? We're wanting gusto. We're wanting gusto.
Let's get this fucking intro done.
Welcome to the Throwback Podcast, episode 29. I'm Ginger Shaq, and I'm joined the man, the myth, the Murray. Mark.
Well done. Well, you might do that. I don't know whether we'll go with that same one every week, but it's a great effort.
Wasn't it? Rachel Adedeji.
Yeah, I can't. I'm not laughing either now. I've got over that, so that was good. Yeah, episode 29. Here we are.
29 episodes.
I know.
Jesus.
Who'd have thought?
Isn't it?
And it's mad because if you remember back to the first episode, the Knicks were terrible, and all we did for the first 10 was absolutely rip them apart, like piece by piece. And they've been on this mad run. Obviously, it got stopped the other night by the Suns, but they've been playing real. Tibbs is doing a great job over there with very, very little, really, in New York. But that's not a matter.
I know, like, it's the Knicks, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I hate to be the pessimist, but it's all going to go to shit, isn't it?
Well, definitely, because Julian
we're not talking about like a Knicks Nets Eastern Conference Finals. We're not talking about that. Although, to be fair, how fuego,
that would
New York be if that happened? It ain't.
It would be brilliant, but I don't know. It's like LeBron put that tweet out the other day. It's nice that the league's better off for the Knicks doing well, and I think it is. I think like, when everybody's back in the arenas, Madison Square Garden's the Mecca at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? Whether the Knicks were playing... I went last year and the Knicks were terrible, but it was still sick in the Garden. Like, that doesn't change.
But that's the thing, and it's like there's 5 teams. I'll say 5. 5. The NBA is better when them teams are playing good. And that's the Bulls.
Yeah.
It's the Knicks. It's the Lakers.
Yeah.
It's the Heat.
And
it's the Celtics.
Yeah.
Like, just kind of that sort of like, I don't know. Like,
I agree.
It just seems more, like, don't get me wrong, quite happy, Toronto have won it, Golden State Warriors.
But those 5 teams, yeah, you're probably right there.
But I think that's a lot to do with geographical reasons. We're British fans, as you've said. Like, if you go to MSG, even people that don't like basketball, the amount of people you've seen, like, you know what I mean, like Christmas in New York with the girls.
Gonna go next game.
And then go next game. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? It's like Central Park, next game. Statue of Liberty, Macy's.
Done. Christmas locked off right there. But
I mean, it's nice to see, and Tibbs does deserve credit. Like, he's never been a bad coach. Like, he's just got a historic record for being a bit of a workhorse. And he, grinds his. And I said it previous pods. Yeah, it's nice the Knicks are winning, but give it 10 games when he's been playing all of his starters, 48 minutes a game, followed by a 2-hour warm down.
Yeah.
But,
he's got a young team, though, hasn't he, at the moment, which it can work on to an extent. And obviously, Derrick Rose kind of is there, but we know the situation with that. He's kind of limited what he's playing. But I don't know. Like, it's good. It's good for the league, isn't it? Julius Randle is definitely playing for next year's contract. Do you know what I mean? He's looking for the bag next year, and that's why he's playing this kind of basketball. I don't think he'll be in New York next year. I think he'll be somewhere else.
See, I reckon he'll be in New York because I reckon he's going to get that super maxi.
Do you think so?
He's selling jerseys. Fans like him. The Knicks are winning games. They historically bet on shit. So yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Like Julius Randle is having a season of his life, but if 2 years ago, if we talk about Julius Randle as one of the best, bigs in the league, or forwards, you'd get spat at.
Well, you look at that Lakers team. With we've spoke about it before, with Brandon Ingram, Julius Randle. It's looking like we talked about Jordan Clarkson last week, D'Angelo Russell, and they got rid of all these players. Do you know what I mean? They could have had some team.
And you look at it now, like you said, Ingram balling out in NOLA, Randall balling out in New York, Jordan Clarkson balling out in Utah, D'Angelo Russell still being a little asshole on social media.
Yeah, still being a snitch. So some things don't change. No. Some things don't change. And snitches get stitches. Yeah. I don't really know what else to talk, especially in regards to the NBA at the moment. It's kind of wind down season, isn't it? Ready for the playoffs to start. It's a strange time of the season, isn't it?
It's kind of like a weird one. It's like teams are kind of looking like, okay, we're not going to make playoffs, so let's just start resting people, maybe, and just all of a sudden, your all-star player or your top player's now got a tight hamstring, so it won't be, left leg soreness, so that they don't start playing. But one of the things I did want to talk about is while we were on about New York. Did you go to the NBA store when you were in New York?
I did go to the NBA store when I went to New York. In fact, did I buy Shugs a jersey from the NBA store in New York?
You did?
I did, didn't I? I got him a Mike Scott Sixers jersey when I was in New York.
Maybe when the NBA store opens in London.
We can go there.
We cannot go there.
We can go the
Throwback. We only support independent brands such as the Throwback store. www.throwbackstore.co.uk.
Yes.
Mitchell & Ness official supplier.
Yes. But
I will be going when it opens.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get invited to the opening, but we'll see. But
that's what I'm saying.
That's big. That's big for the UK. It shows that the NBA are kind of starting to invest in promoting the NBA over here, not in basketball in general, but promoting the NBA. So
I might up sticks and go get a job as a cashier.
I know. Why not?
It'll come with a staff discount, I assume.
Definitely.
I get a job staff discount. I get the jerseys. We take them. You sell them. Shricky.
Yeah, out the back door. Yeah, we could do that. That could work. Definitely work.
But no, it is big. It's a step in the right direction. We lost the game, so now we've got a store.
Yeah, and with the store, I'm assuming it'll come. Events will come with it because I know, like the NBA store in New York, obviously it's in New York, but they always have like events on there and stuff. So
I'd hope so. Obviously, it's just a bit sad that now we don't have the global games anymore, because that place would have been lit for like that entire week.
Well, we had even like we was going to have that game, the March Madness game as well, wasn't we?
Yeah.
That would have been good as well.
I was looking forward to that. I didn't have tickets, but I was going to get them.
I had tickets for that. That was Michigan. Loads of people started buying Michigan jerseys off me as well because they'd bought tickets to that. So I thought, I'll stock all the Michigan jerseys in the UK. and then it got cancelled, and now I'm stuck with a load of Michigan jerseys. So I'm hoping next.
To be fair, though, nice jerseys, isn't they?
Yeah, dope.
Like as far as NCAA go, like there's like a top tier of like 4, like North Carolina, Michigan, Duke, and probably Florida.
Georgetown.
Gators. Georgetown.
Yeah, that's just my
UCLA coming in thick with the jump man now. So
so there's some nice
Oregon.
I like the Oregon colorway
just because it's like it's this colorway, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the green and the yellow. It's nice, really nice.
Big fan.
Yeah, big fan. I don't know how we've just gone off on this random tangent but the Mitchell and Ness drop went well. Just to kind of because I've not really. I think I saying that you did check in, didn't you? You did message me.
I always do.
Yeah. But
so it went well then.
Yeah, it went very
received well.
Very well received. Not too many idiots, which was good. There's not too many. You're selling fake
just a couple
jerseys. Yeah, just a couple. But you expect that, don't you? You expect. It's understandable. There's so many fake jerseys out there as well. Like, and if people are just seeing like an advertisement because I did a sponsored post on Instagram, if somebody's just seeing that for the first time, automatically in your head you'd probably go, "Is this fake?" Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, explain.
I've always said if somebody offers you a full price, a brand new NBA jersey, whether it be Mitchell and Ness, Nike, Champion, if it's under 50 quid,
you probably. If it's too good, if it looks too good to be true, it usually is, isn't it? I think that's kind of the key with that. But yeah, the Mitchell and Ness drop went well, well received.
I mean, I was at the gym. I was at the gym on Wednesday, I think it was last week. No, Friday, and a guy had a Donovan Mitchell Utah Jazz jersey, but like the retro in green. And he was like, "Oh yeah, it's legit." Like, it's not.
You've just made that up. It's not legit.
When that is, I spoke to the guy on DHL Gate. I was like, "Answered your own question there."
Yeah.
Answered your own question there.
Yeah, exactly. That's not where you shop for jerseys. But going off kind of jerseys and onto clothing and stuff, the Travis Scott. Is it British Khaki? It's called.
Yeah.
Looks a bit like a cork to me.
Like they've banged. Like I seen the advert last night before I fell asleep, where they got Rip Hamilton in the advert for it, and it is like cool. Look, it's a cool color, but now we're at the point where there's no creativity with it.
Yeah, it's just you're just putting the same thing on again, aren't you?
Like again. I'm going to go for a pair in a raffle.
Yeah, definitely.
But that's because I don't own any other Travis Scott.
Yeah. I don't.
And as a collector, I'm like, well, I'd like at least one pair of something.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of. I don't really like the little pocket on the side.
Yeah.
But I understand. They'll look nice. Do you know what I mean? With the right outfit, and I'm sure everybody will be wearing. I'm sure there'll be NBA players coming out in them in the next couple of days. Now they've been announced. I think is it the 30th that they're dropping. Yeah. So now it's been announced. I'm sure there's been NBA players in. I'm sure PJ Tucker's already got a pair, and the guys like that. I seen PJ Tucker the other day. Did you see him having breakfast with all the sheets on his breakfast counter? He had loads of different, like Rasheed Wallace kicks, which was dope to see. I think he had like 4 colorways. I'll see if
they like when they done the Nike Art of the Champion, and they released them high top Air Force One sheets. Yeah. They were probably the ones I wanted most. Like they banged.
Yeah, definitely. They
like
did.
Sheed is a beast.
Yeah. And the Throwback store's got a full-size run in the Trailblazer Rasheed Wallace jersey at the moment. So if you want to head over to the Throwback store and have a look at those. You're more than welcome to. If you don't, then don't.
I won't.
And I was thinking about this as well the other day. With
It's dangerous.
I know. Do you remember we was talking about the Colby's stopping? Colby stopping.
Yeah.
Will DeMar DeRozan still be able to wear Colby's? And Tobias Harris as well, because Tobias Harris wears some dope Colby's. Will they still be able to wear Colby's once Colby's no longer part of Nike?
Yes, I reckon they will because players still wear T-Max, don't they?
Yeah, like people who, but they're still producing T-Max. Is my point, and it's like Reebok.
I suppose like you're not going to see any new ones.
But my point being is, if they've not got the deal anymore, will they want their star players promoting a sneaker that they're not going to be making any money from? That sneaker will have come from a reseller, I'm assuming now at that point, as opposed to coming direct from source.
I mean, it'll probably come from Nike. They've probably got a vault. They just can't sell them. But equally, without sounding awful, half of the Kobe's that DeMar DeRozan, PJ Tucker, and all of these guys are wearing, you weren't never able to buy them anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? And that was a lot of Vanessa Bryant's issues.
Yeah.
And it appears to be the biggest stumbling block was the Grinches.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
She wanted everyone to be able to have a pair, and they didn't mass produce them. Which I love, but I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. We'll keep an eye on it. Next podcast, we'll have a look. There's certain players spend a large amount of time in Kobe's.
Yeah.
So
I know
if they're not rocking Kobe's anymore, then
like Anthony Davis, Ja Morant, they all love Kobe's. These are star.
But if you think about it, this year there was a solid point this season when at least one game, in like one player in every game, was wearing the Kobe Bruce Lees.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like
the Grinches around Christmas. Like I remember,
everyone had them on.
I remember Ja Morant wearing them initially, and then they were everywhere. So
it'll be interesting to see. I hope so, because it's it's lesser than wearing it to sell it; they're wearing it to honor it, and equally, they're good hooping shoes.
Yeah, definitely. So, talking of shoes, hooping shoes, and other shoes, the weather's been nice.
Yeah.
So, it's get your kicks out, isn't it? Time. It's like. So, what do you think are the ideal beer garden, like out for the day? Well, even not necessarily out for the day, but even a sneaker that can go from day, having a couple of drinks in the afternoon, get a little bit leery, and then you end up staying out. What kick can bring you through the beer garden weather straight through? No brew.
I think the universal one is the Air Force One.
Yeah. Definitely.
So the Air Force One gets my points so that's my first one. It's white clean.
Yeah.
So if the rain comes, a clean pair of Air Force Ones looks smart.
Yeah, I totally agree. Wear it with anything.
If you're lucky enough to have a custom pair of Air Force Ones, you're even better.
Yeah, like we have. We've definitely got.
We do. Shout out Greg T Customs.
Yeah, shout out Greg.
But I'd probably say like an Air Force One, a Yeezy 350,
a Jordan one,
a Jordan one. Technically business attire now.
Yeah, exactly. Like you can definitely wear a Jordan one out through the day and let that run through if you end up hitting the club.
I mean, I've got a job interview next week. I'm wearing a Jordan one. I'm arguing it's business attire.
Have you got any pants on today or sneakers?
I've got socks on.
What kind of socks have you got on?
Nike socks.
I've not got any socks on today.
I hate them shoes.
Oh, my favourite shoes. My favourites.
So did they come with the pink laces?
No, I just added them.
Nice.
They are what are they actually called? The Nike Air Max 1 FB, but they're in the Yeezy colorway, aren't they? They're like the Yeezy, the first Yeezy Nike. They're in the same colorway as that. So
the original prototype for that shoe has just been bought for 1.8 million.
I've seen that. Yeah, seen that. Ridiculous. But yeah, so I'll go even like an Air Max 1, like I've got on. You can, in the right colorway, you could wear that bit. But I think like if we're just talking beer garden, going out, like catching up with friends and stuff like that, I think the Sean Wotherspoons are the summer shoe. Like, I don't think there's any kind of better shoe for the summer. The colorway, comfort as well.
They're box fresh.
Yeah. But I've worn these into the ground, and they still look like in reasonably good condition. And I have worn these to the point of no return. So yeah, they were really well as well. So if you can get yourself a pair, They're a bit ridiculous now on the resale market. Last time I looked, it was like $1,000, which silly money.
Or if you were lucky, you could wear some Yeezy sliders.
Yeah. Did you get some Yeezy sliders?
I didn't.
What size are you?
7.4. So it would have been an 8.
Would you have been an 8? Somebody was selling some the other day. I don't know what size they were. But yeah,
I think I've seen that on Insta.
I don't really. I don't know. It's not for me. I just like a nice pair of Nike or Adidas sliders personally. I've got a pair of Nike sliders I've had for about 5 years now.
Oh, I love sliders.
Yeah.
I had a pair of Bulls ones, like Nike Bulls ones when they're done there.
Yeah.
But at the minute, I'm just rocking a pair of Adidas original sliders. So
yeah. We've got the Adidas Originals t-shirt on, so it's a vibe. I'm Nike.
On branding.
I was Adidas yesterday. Nike today. Got to kind of keep it real, haven't you? Like Ian Beale. I met Ian Beale once.
Were you doing the London Marathon?
Yeah. And kept it real. Really nice guy, actually. Really nice guy. Questions. Moving on. Questions.
Oh, what a shame. I was looking forward to hearing about Ian Beale even more.
It's really nice. Do you know what? It was sad, actually, because I was doing the London Marathon as a guide. Why have you left? I was doing the London Marathon as a guide runner, and he was doing the London Marathon as, I'm sure he was a guide runner, or he was doing it like with somebody who was like disabled or something like that. And the person pulled out like within the first couple of miles, the person he was doing it with. So he was just like doing it on his own. He was like, I was doing this for like charity and nobody to do it with. So he ran with us for a little bit. Like, he was just a really nice guy. And if you're watching in America or anywhere in Europe, Ian Beale, I don't know how to explain who Ian Beale is. He's on a soap.
He's basically the British JR from Dallas.
Yeah, basically. He's the British JR, yeah. That's the best way of kind of...
Big Donny. Big Donny.
Right, so we got a question from Luke Godfrey. Great pod, guys. I finally managed to catch up with the episodes this week. Shout out to you for going back and catching up. We appreciate that.
Dankeschön.
I'm new to basketball and the NBA. Picked a team in the preseason and I'm hooked now. What was the moment that you realised you were hooked for both the game and your teams? I'll let you answer that first.
The moment I realised I was hooked was when I was like, got a 7 o'clock start tomorrow morning.
I'm going to watch this game at 3 a.m.
2 hours sleep for a West Coast game. Yeah, it's all right, isn't it?
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it, though?
You know that. And for my team was Derrick Rose's game-winning shot against the Cavs. Like, I have never felt jubilation like that for another sport other than seeing McGregor knock out Aldo and Liverpool winning the Champions League. So that was kind of like that sort of like I got the butterfly bit in my stomach, like my stomach went tight. Probably might have been having an angina attack, to be honest.
A vagina attack, probably.
Angina.
Oh, sorry. Go on, carry on.
Cardiac issues aren't a laughing matter, Mark.
No, they're not. They're not. I've got asthma, so I know all about issues with your chest.
So does that mean that you wear the Wheezy 350s?
Ah, not a laughing matter.
Man on that Ventolin ting.
Yeah. You know the vibes. You know the.
What about you? Well, when did you realise that it was more than a pastime?
Well, I played football for years, and I always liked basketball. I always watched basketball. Played because we had some courts down the road from where I live. The courts that me and Elliot went to the other day, actually. Shout out to Elliot, Quagmire. Quagmire Firmino. Yeah, so I tore my cruciate ligament in my knee playing football. So I couldn't really run properly, and I definitely couldn't kick a ball. And as a kid, I just had loads of energy. So I just still went down the park, and rather than playing football, I just used to shoot a basketball.
Because I was just about to be like,
yeah,
cruciate ligament.
Yeah. So I used to
play a game where I have to jump up and down.
Yeah. So what I'd do, I'd walk down the park, obviously struggle down the park. This was when I was starting to kind of get it. It was walking on time. So I'd walk down.
Did you walk or did you take like the family mule?
Yeah.
So know that.
It was like, we're like Amish in St. Helens. That's why I've got the beard.
Amish.
Yeah, them as well.
Fucking Amish. So the blokes in Scotland, like, what's he saying? He's like Hamish.
Shugs is going to be fuming. Yeah. So Amish. Anyway, so I'd walk down anyway and just shoot free throws, so I didn't have to jump, and then I'd go and walk for my ball, come back. So that's how I kind of got into basketball. And then once my knee got better, I never went back playing football again. I started playing basketball after that. So properly, I was probably around about 12 when I properly started playing and getting into it. And because my cousin was in Philadelphia, it was just a natural choice to just pick the 76ers to follow. So I loved Allen Iverson anyway. So yeah, so 21 years later, it's literally my life. So crazy, really, when you think about it. But yeah, that was it. That's how I kind of. And as well, Luke, his name was Luke, wasn't it? You didn't tell us what team you're hooked on. So we need to know that as well. So you said you're hooked on the NBA and you've picked a team, but we don't know what your team is. So in regards to the team that you've picked, if it's the Brooklyn Nets, I'm disappointed. If it's the Lakers, I'm disappointed because they've just won the championship. So any other team apart from those two are good with me, but you can't pick the Nets and you can't pick the Lakers.
Are they, though?
Why? Like, no, obviously I don't want him to be a Celtics fan, but I can understand.
Sacramento Kings.
Oh, I like watching the Kings. Do you like the Kings?
I like the jerseys.
De'Aaron Fox.
Oh, just not big on him.
Whoa! Great, probably the fastest player in the league between him and Ja Morant as the fastest end-to-end player in the NBA.
I mean, it's great that he's fast, but he needs to get the ball in the basket.
Isn't he averaging like 20 and 10 or something this season?
Not as good as Zach LaVine.
All right. And Zach LaVine's not as good as Joel Embiid, so we leave it there.
Zach LaVine's played more games than Joel Embiid. Zach LaVine's not injured.
Can we stop talking about Joel Embiid's injuries? We had this last week.
It's a big... No, I seen it again. It's the thing, innit? Like, I seen today, and it's like, double-doubles by Nikola Jokic, 61.
Yeah.
Then it's like, games played by Embiid, 42.
Yeah, but we're only...
Right, cool.
Yeah, let's leave him to it.
When have we counted double-doubles?
I know, because that's pointless as well.
It's like when they go like looking for stats. Like I seen one the other day, and it was about Paul George, and it was just like, just try and find stuff. And it's like Paul George is 0.4% taking a 3-point shot when his team's down by 22, and he's being guarded by a fellow center. And you're like, what?
It's mad, isn't it?
It's not even a stat.
But Stu was the one who kind of delved into that on the last pod, and he sent another question in. He said, most improved player has to be Julius Randle. See, when people say most improved player, I understand that Julius Randle's having a good season, but he was a good player last year. I think somebody like Christian Wood, who kind of come out of nowhere and he's averaging whatever he's averaging. He's been smashing it, hasn't he, this season?
He has, but he's playing for a shit Rockets team.
Yeah, and Julius Randle plays for the Knicks.
Can't say it no more, Mark. They're winning games.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm going to stick with Christian Wood. I think Julius Randle...
My most improved player is Patrick Williams for Rookie of the Year and most improved player.
That's not going to happen, but cool story, bro.
Or Lowry Marketing, most improved player, because he's missing less shots than he did last year, because he's not getting the minutes.
He's not going to hear you.
If I shout loud enough, he might in Finland. If I shout loud enough, he'll probably be playing for the Riders in 2 years, so he might hear me.
So, Stu, as first question is, why is Russ not getting the love for what is statistically an outrageous season? Every season, statistically an outrageous season for Russ. It's just become the norm now that, like, he's going to just stack the stat sheet, isn't he? He's gonna have those triple doubles. 23 this season or something.
Yeah, Russ doesn't get the credit he deserves for the same reason that LeBron doesn't win MVP every year. It's nothing new.
Yeah, exactly.
And it shouldn't be looked any different because he is bossing it. He's also on a tragic Washington team.
Yeah.
So it's not getting the reps and the props because people are like, well,
I just think with Russ, he's not won anything. Firstly, he's had opportunities. But it's always been his shooting, hasn't it? His shooting percentage. You can't shoot. He can't. Isn't it like 20, 10, and 10 this year again?
Yeah.
So he's doing something right. And I love watching him. At the beginning of the season, everybody was laughing at him. Oh, they're not doing this. They've done this, and they're not playing well. And oh, the Wizards, blah blah. He's just gone there because they've got nobody else, and they're just trying to. Well, you look at the Rockets and you look at the Wizards. I'd rather be on the Wizards than the Rockets right now. The Rockets has turned into an absolute shit show. So I'm sure Russ is made up that he got out of there when he did.
Most likely.
Yes. So next question from Stu was, we've had MJ, Kobe, LeBron. Who could be the next heir apparent? Who becomes the global face of the NBA following LBJ's retirement circa 2023? It's not Giannis. More chance of my kid winning a chip at the minute.
So this question, I mean, shout out Stu, because like I'm gonna give him the official. Like, you need to get him a gold T-shirt.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna have to do.
Just because, like, his questions every single week smash it out the park and generally get the old brain nuggets moving. Obviously, the simple answer would be Zion.
Yeah.
I don't think it is. I think it's KD for a couple of years, maybe.
Well, he said global for starters, so straight away the first player that come to my head was Luka.
Yeah, okay. Steph.
And you've got Steph, but I think what he's kind of alluding to is, like, you had MJ in the 90s, you had Kobe in the 2000s to the 2010s, and then you had LeBron in the 2010s onto the 20s. I think who is that player that's going to be? I don't genuinely think there's a player in the league. I think Steph Curry had it for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Around about 2015, 16, 2014, 15, round about that. When he went back to back with the MVPs, I think he was becoming that global superstar. And I think he still is a global superstar. I just think there's not that player that's like bringing in people who don't even necessarily like basketball or don't watch it. Like, you can ask anybody, right, to name 5 basketball players, and the majority of people are going to say Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James. I don't see them going Kevin Durant. Potentially, they could say Steph Curry. And then you've got, again, unless you watch basketball, people don't know who Luka Doncic is.
Bronny James.
Again, that's probably one of, that's what I mean. I don't think there's that player that's come in the league that is that global superstar that brings people in that aren't necessarily, like Conor McGregor was for the UFC, right? So Conor McGregor was in the UFC. Everybody could name Conor McGregor. Anywhere you go, you could talk to anybody and they'd name Conor McGregor. Do they know Kamaru Usman? Probably not. But they know who Conor McGregor is. But Usman's better than him. Do you know what I mean? So it's mad. I don't know who's going to be bringing in those kind of casual fans.
I mean, I hope years to come it's Zion.
Yeah, definitely.
I think he's got the personality, the markability.
Yeah.
The hype around him. So I truly hope, he does.
And Luka's got the numbers.
Yeah, Luka's got the numbers. But again, Luka's Dirk 2.0, literally.
Yeah, and he's not highlight reel stuff. Kobe was highlight. Jordan was like must-watch to TV. Young LeBron, he was up to his chin on the rim when he was dunking. He was jumping out the building, and I think that's why Zion could potentially be that superstar because of the highlights he will over his career. But you look at, I don't know, I just can't see one being that global superstar once LeBron's gone. But I'm sure the NBA will market somebody into that role. I suppose it all comes with success as well. Like Kobe was successful. That's why he became the global superstar. Steph was getting to that point with the Warriors. If they'd have won a couple more, he'd have probably broke that mold and become that global superstar.
I think if Steph Curry had done a three-peat followed by a couple more, there'd be arguments for people saying he's the GOAT.
Yeah, definitely. Like,
because nobody won 5 in a row.
No, and Steph completely changed the game of basketball. So, really hard question to answer. Really hard, really good question, though.
I think, like you said, the people that have got the promise are probably your Zions. Yeah, your Jason Tatums, your young players, Luka Doncic. Ironically, all Jumpman athletes.
Yeah. Could it be LaMelo Ball?
No.
You don't think so?
No. LaMelo Ball will never get a fair whack because of who his brothers are, because of who his dad is.
Great player, though. Great player.
Oh, great. Yeah. Fantastic. Best ball brother in terms of player. And, unless you speak to the dad who still says LiAngelo's the best.
I know.
Well, he's not, though, is he?
He's an idiot. But Lonzo's no mug. He's been playing well this season.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this week, Stu's already had a T-shirt, so I'm going to have to send one to Luke Godfrey. So, Luke, if you want to get in touch, hit me up and I'll get a T-shirt sent out to you.
And let us know what team it is you picked.
Yeah, and let us know what team you picked. And everybody, let us know who you think is the next superstar in the NBA, because it's a really hard question to answer when you think of the global impact the likes of LeBron, Kobe, and MJ have had. So, yeah, definitely do that. Player with number 29.
Well, I mean, it's pretty obvious, to be fair. For my option, it's got to be Bones McKinney of the Washington Capitals, 1951.
Well, I've gone with Purvis Ellison, who I did know. I just couldn't remember what number he was. Never nervous Purvis. So I've gone with him. He's another nickname of his is Out of Service Purvis.
I mean, obviously, I've got a lot of time for Bones McKinney, who was actually born as Horace Albert McKinney. He played at small forward and he was right-handed. He was 6'6", 185 pounds, born on January the 1st, 1919 in Lowlands, North Carolina. So, big fan.
Big fan. Obviously a big fan. You can see that. You can see how big of a fan you are. So, with this being episode 29, well done. The 30th episode, we've got a guest. I'm not going to tell you who it is.
Love a guest pod.
I know, I do. I really like a guest pod. It feels like ages ago that we had Mark on.
Yeah.
Like it actually.
To be fair though, we did go for that period where we were banging 2 pods out a week. So
yeah. Now it's kind of it's everything's so busy, isn't it? So on the next pod we will definitely have a guest. I'm not going to tell you who it is, but we definitely will. We will have a guest. We've got one. And we're done for this episode. So we shall see you on episode 30, where 2 will become 3. Have a great day. Enjoy all the basketball. Buy some Mitchell and Ness merch from the Throwback store, and that will make me very happy. Ginger Shaq's done that again. So I'm going to leave it at that, and we shall see you on episode 30. Peace.